Sip. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello and welcome for our today's presentation. From us, before we get into the material for today, I will be introducing the team that I am on. Starting from myself, Zenat Dayu, and next we have
Ardian Udayuda, and the next.
And I'm Dita Lufitasari.
Yes, and so we go into our material. For today, we will be reviewing on Franz Rosenthal's Knowledge Triumphant on the subsection of the concept of knowledge in medieval Islam. Next, please. Okay, first of all, we will be talking on what we'll be consisting on what we'll be talking about today. That is our main theme, starting from knowledge or ilm. Rosenthal points out that ilm is not just a field study, but a core value that shapes Islamic culture and intellectual life. Secondly, we have the relationship between human knowledge and divine knowledge. Third is we'll be we'll be reading on social context of learning. And next, we will be talking about the different ways of viewing knowledge. Next, please. These are some of the important highlights that we'll be talking about. We will be talking on emphasis on diversity. Rosenthal points out that although ilm has central value, there are various interpretations and approaches to it in Islam. We'll be using our primary sources. The book is rich in quotations from Arabic texts such as the Quran, the Hadith, and the works of Islamic scholars. And the last one, deep analysis, it explores Rosenthal explores the meaning and implications of the concept of ilm, going beyond simple definitions. Next, please. These are some of the concrete examples we will be using on our presentations. The first one, Rosenthal discusses how the concept of ilm is discussed in pre-Islamic poetry, showing that respect for knowledge predates Islam. Secondly, we'll be seeing how Rosenthal analyzes how Islamic theologians understand the relationship between human knowledge and God's knowledge, with various perspectives emerging. The third one will be seeing how Rosenthal explains the role of Sufis in the pursuit of knowledge, emphasizing the spiritual and intuitive dimensions of ilm. And the last one, the fourth one, how Rosenthal, examines how the concept of ilm is applied in the study of Islamic law or fiqh, where knowledge of Allah's law is essential. The next one will be talked about by Yuda. Please go ahead.
Okay, for the next, we will talk about impact and relevance. For the first is important contribution. Rosenthal work has been highly influential in the study of Islamic intellectual history. The second is timeless relevance. Even though it was published in 1970, the book remains relevant and widely read until today. And the last is a balanced approach. Rosenthal offers a balanced analysis, recognizing the complexity and diversity in ilm concept. Okay, for the next is the chapter on knowledge is like Sufism. The chapter on knowledge is like or Sufism stand out as the most intriguing aspect of knowledge Triumphant. The concept of knowledge in medieval Islam by Franz Rosenthal due to its exploration of the intersection between spirituality and knowledge within the mystical tradition of Sufism. Unlike the chapter that might focus solely on intellectual or philosophical interpretation of knowledge, this chapter delves into the transformative power of knowledge as perceived by Sufi thinkers. Through the lens of Sufism, knowledge transcends mere scholarly pursuit and becomes a profound means of signing divine union and inner transformation, making it a fascinating and interesting aspect of the book. The term Sufism is believed to derive from the Arabic word "suf", which refers to wool, possibly indicating the simple woolen garment worn by early Sufi ascetic as a symbol of their detachment from worldly possessions. Sufism emerged in the early centuries of Islam, and over time it developed into a rich tradition with various orders, full of thoughts and practice. Central to Sufism is the concept of love for God or Mahabbah and the notion of divine love as the ultimate goal of a human existence. Sufism often express their longing for union with a divine through poetry, music, and dance. Many famous Sufi poets, such as Rumi, Hafiz, and Attar, have composed verses expressing their deep spiritual insight and experience. Okay, the next will be delivered by Dika.
So the next slide is the important point of knowledge is Sufism, one of the chapter of the book. So the first one, the important things is conceptualization of knowledge. The Sufi tradition views knowledge not merely as intellectual understanding, but as a transformative force that illuminates the inner self and leads to spiritual enlightenment. Knowledge is perceived as a divine light that dispels ignorance and guides seekers towards union with the divine. So the second one is direct experiential knowledge or ma'rifah. Sufism emphasized the importance of direct experiential knowledge gained through spiritual practice such as meditation, contemplation, and inner reflection. This knowledge transcends rational understanding and provides seekers with profound insight into divine truths. The next one is role of the spiritual guide or shak. The chapter highlights the pivotal role of the spiritual guide in Sufism, who facilitate the transmission of knowledge and guides disciplines along the spiritual path. Through the mentor, disciplines relationship, seekers navigate the complexity of the spiritual journey and deepen their understanding of divine truths. The next one is unveiling or cast of hidden truths. Sufi aspirants experience moments of the divine revelation or unveiling of hidden truths, known as khas. These mystical experiences deepen their understanding of reality and foster a closer connection with the divine, underscoring the transformative potential of spiritual knowledge. The last one is integration of mystical experience and intellectual inquiry. Despite the emphasis on experiential knowledge, Sufism does not reject intellectual inquiry. Instead, it integrates mystical experience with intellectual pursuits, leads to a holistic understanding of knowledge that encompasses both inner awakening and scholarly study. Rosenthal delves into writing of prominent Sufi figures such as Rumi, Ibn Arabi, and Al-Ghazali, who expounded on the theme of knowledge as light in their mystical discourse. These Sufi masters often employed metaphorical language and allegorical interpretation of Quranic verse to convey the ineffable nature of spiritual knowledge, enriching the reader's understanding of the mystical dimension of Islam. Furthermore, the chapters shed light on the pivotal role of the spiritual guide, or shak, in facilitating the transmission of knowledge within Sufism. Through the guidance of a qualified mentor, Sufi aspirants navigate the complexities of the spiritual path and cultivates a deeper understanding of divine truths. Rosenthal's exploration of the mental disciplines relationship adds a layer of depth to the discussion, highlighting the interpersonal dynamics that shape the acquisition of spiritual knowledge within the Sufi tradition.
And so we have reached the conclusion. The conclusion to all of this is that in his book, Knowledge Triumphant, Rosenthal argues that knowledge, or ilm, played a central role in Islamic civilization during the medieval period. He explores how various groups, from theologians and Sufis to philosophers and ordinary people, understood knowledge. The book delves into the connection between knowledge and faith, the source of knowledge, and the emphasis on education and learning with Muslim societies. Rosenthal acknowledges that the pursuit of knowledge wasn't without tensions, and as debates arose regarding the boundaries of acceptable knowledge and the role of reason versus revelation, Knowledge Triumphant offers a rich understanding of how the concept of knowledge shaped the intellectual and cultural landscape of medieval Islam. That is all today for us. Thank you very much for listening to us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.